So hello everyone. Audible? Welcome back again on our Megabit Education YouTube channel. Uh, I hope my screen is visible to all and I am audible. Just let. All those things in our previous session, we initially discussed about who can learn Python programming. Then we took some example. I have shared example of calendar, right? So how we can create a calendar in just 2 lines of code to at how Python is simple compared to other programming languages and what are its features. I was in the afternoon only I was talking with one of my HR friend and वो HR ने मुझे बोला कि बताया मुझे कि see this is a era of artificial intelligence and the demand for programming language called Python why it is growing because uh, ChatGPT, the softwares like ChatGPT, prompts like ChatGPT, and other open, see that DeepSeek, all those AI tools are preferring Python programming language, right? So that's why Python is becoming very popular. Like, let's take an example. I'll close all the rest window and I'll open ChatGPT. I'll simply ask to ChatGPT programming language ChatGPT programmed or created program. Let's try to find out the answer. So ChatGPT is saying ChatGPT is primarily programmed in Python and Python is widely used in AI and deep learning. And TensorFlow, PyTorch and Hugging Face Transformer. So let me tell you one thing over here. TensorFlow, PyTorch, we can consider it as a libraries. Okay, libraries of Python. And why Python is becoming popular? Because n number of libraries are increasing day by day. So TensorFlow is one library, PyTorch is one library, then Matplotlib is one library, Pandas is there, NumPy is there. So day by day libraries are increasing, which is our work easier. So that's why Python is becoming popular. That then we discuss history of Python. We know that Guido van Rossum is the father of our Python programming language. Those who haven't seen or attended the first session, they can just visit on this YouTube channel and can see the first session. पूरा properly detail मैंने वो सभी चीजें आपको बताई है. Then we discussed versions of Python programming language. Now one question arises here. Interviewer can ask you कि how to find out the versions of Python. राइट तो इंटरव्यूअर आपको ये पूछ सकता है कि कोडिंग पाइथन का लेटेस्ट वर्जन कौन सा है मेरे सिस्टम पे कैसे देखो राइट सो फॉर दैट पर्पस आपके पास कमांड्स रहती है कुछ जो हेल्प करेगी आपको एक सेकंड तो हेल्प करेगी आपको कि वर्जन किस तरह से पाइथन का आप सर्च कर सकते हो ओके ठीक है. We'll go and open our CMD prompt. Type Python space hyphen and then version. Let's try what we will get. It is showing error. Okay. Now I'll use two hyphens. I'll get Python 3.13.2. That means the major version is 3 and minor version is 13 and 2. We have other one code. Instead of Python, I can also write Python 3 and then version. I'll get this same output Python 3.13.2. So if HR will ask me कि how to find out the version of Python, simply tell them, sir, there is one command, Python space dash dash version or Python 3 space dash dash version. I'll simply copy it and I'll note it down in our notepad so that I can share all these notes to you. So how to find Python version, Python dash dash version or Python 3 space version. So find out the Python version. Okay. Now is features of Python programming. Features of Python programming. So we're going to discuss features of Python programming. Okay. Now are there and features, let me tell you, features are nothing but services or facilities provided language developers. ठीक है. ये सर्विसेज है या फिर फैसिलिटीज है जो एक डेवलपर को प्रोवाइड की जाती है. दे आर यूज बाय लैंग्वेज प्रोग्रामर फॉर डेवलपिंग रियल टाइम एप्लीकेशन. सबको पता है कि लैंग्वेज के बहुत से जो फीचर्स रहते हैं वो हमें हेल्प करते हैं हमारी कोडिंग इजी करने के लिए और efficient कोड बनाने के लिए. So what is the purpose of features of Python programming? So I can say the features of Python programming are nothing but what? Services or provided to language developers and they are used by language programmers for what? Developing real time applications. Okay. So features of language is nothing but what? Facilities or the services provided to language developer and they are used by like language programmer for developing real time applications. Okay. So Python programming are there. If interviewer will ask you this question, you have to answer that Python programming provides how many features? 11 features. Python programming provides 11 features. And let me list it down, then I'll explain each and everything one by one. So first feature is simple. So if interviewer will ask you why Python is simple, so what you will say? Sir, the code is easy, that's why it is simple. But why? Developer, you have to answer, you have to know the answer of every question, right? कि why it is happening. एक मैं छोटे बच्चे को भी बोल दूंगा कि सिंपल लैंग्वेज क्यों है, क्योंकि समझ में आती है, इट इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल, क्योंकि कोड इजी है. आई कोड इजी, क्या कोड में ऐसा क्या डाला है उन्होंने कि उसकी वजह से कोड इजी. सेकंड फीचर, फ्रीवेयर एंड ओपन सोर्स. थर्ड फीचर, प्लेटफॉर्म इंडिपेंडेंट. फोर्थ फीचर, dynamically typed programming language. Fifth, portable. Fifth feature is what? portable. Then sixth feature, Python programming is interpreted language. Interpreted. Seventh is it's a high level. It's a high level programming language. High level programming language. Next, it's a robust programming language. Robust means what? Strong programming language. It is extensible programming language. It is embedded programming language. And 11th, I can say extensible, or I can say extensive third party API. I'll also tell you what is API. There is one more name for API. API या फिर उसको बोल सकते हैं हम लाइब्रेरी. Okay, API और library. So Python has good amount of third party API or library support. One more point we can add that comes under the advanced Python part, that it supports both procedure oriented and object oriented features. It both procedure oriented and object oriented. So I already told you, like if you scroll it down, you will get to know that Python was inspired from four programming languages. Functional, which is nothing but procedural programming language, and second is object oriented. Third is also mentioned here, scripting, and fourth is modular programming language. Modular programming language. All 12 features of Python programming language. Like let's consider both procedure oriented and object oriented. This point we will discuss it in a detail in our coming sessions. Why so? Because you have to understand what is class, you have to understand what is object, then you will get to know about the object oriented thing. But for now you can understand that procedure oriented means the emphasis or importance is on I can say functions. Importance is on function, and in object oriented thing, emphasis is more on the classes and object. Whenever someone says what is object oriented, it only tells us that it is object oriented, and objects are accommodated where? In class. In class we declare our objects. Okay, so let's discuss all those things one by one. I'll tell you all the details properly. I'll try to let you understand everything. If you still are having any questions, you can feel free to comment or send a WhatsApp message on my personal number, right? So why simple? Anyone can ask you this question, why Python programming language is simple? क्यों है भाई? So कोड easy है इसके लिए नहीं. हम एज ए इंटरव्यूअर इफ समवन विल आस्क तो उस तरह से आंसर देना पड़ेगा. पाइथन इज वन ऑफ द सिंपल प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज बिकॉज ऑफ थ्री इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स. And Python is simple. Why Python is simple? Because of three important things. I can say three important factors, right? First of all, first thing that Python language provides, I am writing it in a double quote, rich set of APIs. Rich set of APIs. And APIs are nothing but what? Libraries. Okay, as I told you that Panda, NumPy, go on this website, and or I can like search in the ChatGPT also. What is the purpose of Panda in Python? Panda is a powerful open source Python library used for data manipulation, analysis, and pre-processing. It provides data structure like data frame and series, making it easier to work with structured data. So in data analytics, if you want analyst, you have to use this NumPy, Panda, these kind of libraries. These are extensible third-party API. I told you even in our 11th point, extensive third-party API library support, because Python supports many libraries, and pandas, those who want to be or work with AI things, machine learning, deep learning, they should know pandas, because pandas is what is a powerful open source Python library, and library is nothing but what we call it as API. What we call it as what? API. I'll tell you. See, if someone will ask you what is API, it is not like that, sir. Definition of API, sir. API is nothing but what? Application programming interface. Application programming interface. Sir, what is API? API is nothing but what? Application programming interface. But what does it mean? See, we are not here for short form. What is OS, operating system? What is CPU? Sir, it is central processing unit. No. What is API? Application programming interface? No. I had to give the correct answer that API is a collection of modules. Collection of what? Modules. Okay. So API is nothing but what? Collection of modules. So simply let me tell you why Python is simple. Sir, Python is a simple programming because of three things. And first thing we are understanding, the first thing is that Python programming provides rich set of APIs. APIs are nothing but libraries. And if why libraries we are using? One more question comes, why we are using libraries? Because to make our work easy, if we have ready libraries, right? If we have ready library, then I don't need to write same code again and again and again. Okay, so why API or library is important? Because I don't want to use the same code again. So I can write here so that Python programmer can reuse already defined, means predefined library, or I can say API for solving what? Real time applications. For solving real time application. Understand this thing. I hope you all are understanding. If not understanding, please do let me know. If you are sincere enough to understand Python, then only this class is for you. Sir, Python is simple. Why simple? First thing, Python programming has a rich set of APIs. What is API? Sir, API stand for Application Programming Interface, and it is a collection of modules. Okay. API is also called as library. We have taken an example of library as a panda. I'll also once again ask to ChatGPT list the of libraries in Python. List of libraries in Python, and let's find it out which names they give. First of all, for data manipulation and analysis, pandas, NumPy, Dask, Vex, PyTables. These are all what? Library. These are all what? Library. So for data analyst people, pandas and NumPy are most popular libraries on which they usually work. If you are SCI-Kit Learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Keras, XGBoost, like these are there. Most popular are TensorFlow and PyTorch. I'll again go on LinkedIn. I'll simply search this PyTorch or TensorFlow, whichever you want. Let's go with PyTorch and search with this PyTorch. Let's see what we will get. See, some details are there, but I'll click on the job section. PyTorch in India. PyTorch in India. And you can see over here how many results are there. I haven't mentioned Python. I have simply mentioned PyTorch. So how many people or how many companies are looking for this PyTorch? You can see 2017 results are there. and you can see Python developer, data, sorry, Python developer, data scientist, AWS HPC engineer, again Python squish in L&T Technologies. Many vacancies are there and they are looking for what? PyTorch, PyTorch, right? So simply you can go and find it out. Even let's go for other library. Like for example, let's search for pandas. We got 2017 for PyTorch. And now search and you will get how many currently active we can say. 3805 results are coming. That means the people who are looking for pandas understanding as a library. So 3805 job roles are available currently. Currently, first of all, we can see Tata TCS is looking for that. Second, L&T, LTI Mindtree. Third, again TCS. Then Valsera, Wipro, TechVision, Virtusa, and many other companies are there. If you keep on scrolling, IBM, Synchron, big companies are there. Again, see what is what is the name? Senior Python developer. Okay, Pune, Maharashtra. And what skill they are looking? What skill they are looking? See here. See NumPy, CPy, Panda, Dask, then PyTorch. Okay, then PyTorch, Scikit. These they are looking. So I am telling you the libraries are important, and they because of these kind of libraries, what Python programming becomes simple. Python programming becomes very simple. So API is nothing but what? Collection of modules. And what is module, sir? Then API is a collection of module. Then what is module? Module is a collection of functions, variables, and classes. So simply I can consider as one program, one code where you are using functions, variable, classes. So altogether that we call it as what? Module. We call it as what? Module. Okay. Ready-made modules are there in library. So you can understand like this. I'll simply open Paint. You can understand like this. For example, if simply copy this thing, okay, let's use third also, okay, okay, see here I am writing, let me increase the font, okay, and simply we have written as APIs, okay, or we are calling it as what? Library. We are calling it as what? Library. Okay, library. Then first of all the library or API is there, and this is nothing but what? Library or API is nothing but what? Collection of modules. Collection of modules. And then after this, what is modules? So module is a collection of functions, variables, and classes. Function, variable, and classes. Functions, variables, and class. So in that way you can understand what is API or library. API is a application programming interface. It's a collection of modules. It's a collection of modules. And what is module? Module is a collection of function, variables, and classes. I forgot to write double S over here, but understand. Function, variable, and classes. Okay. And what is the example of API or library here? What is the example? We have taken many. PyTorch. Okay. PyTorch. TensorFlow. Then NumPy. Pandas. These are all what? These are all what? Yeah, like this. These are all what? These are example of libraries. Examples. Examples of library. Okay. I'm writing like this because it will create a note and very easy to understand. Examples are PyTorch, TensorFlow, NumPy, Pandas are examples of library. Okay. Then what is module? What are the example? Let's consider there is a math, C module. Okay. We have taken an example of calendar. So calendar is also module. Calendar is a module. Okay. Then random, these are all what? Modules. These are all what? Modules. Okay. Contains functions, variable and classes. For example, if I am using math module and I want to find out square root. So square root is a function. For example, I want to find out the random number. So to find out a random number, randint is what? Function. Randint is what? Function. Okay. So I hope you all understood what I tried to convey you. API or library is a collection of modules, and modules is a collection of function, variable and classes. Okay. API stand for what? Application Programming Interface. Application Programming Interface. Okay. Everyone understood this point? Okay. Now from I'll clear this. Okay. I'll clear this because there is no command like clear in command prompt. Simply click Python to activate the Python, and let's understand. For example, if I want to calculate square of negative number, if I want to calculate the square root of negative number, not a positive, I want to calculate square. Like if you'll go with a programming language like C, okay, so you usually use hash include. First of all, there is a library called math.h. I'll use that math.h. Then you will declare that variable with a data type int and simply 25, for example, semicolon, and then you will call sqrt math.sqrt n. Is it possible in C language? No. It is not possible in C language to find out the negative number of a square root of negative number like this. It will simply give this kind of error. The standard name for negative number error, for standard name for negative number error, it's called domain error. It's called domain error. And do you know that C language has how many? Language has how many header files? We call this math.h as a header files. C programming language has 256 header files. 256 header files. And which header files we know? Sir, conio.h, sir, stdi.h, sir, math.h. And if someone knows, they can also tell you, sir, strlen dot h, or I can say strlen is a function string dot h. Okay, but you only know how many header files? 4 header files. Mostly someone would have the idea of 5. Okay, for have the idea of 5. Yes, surely, but ready-made contents won't help you. If I'll type, it will easy to copy and paste. I hope this notepad is also helping you to understand, but I'll try to use the PowerPoint in future. Files are there, and out of which how many we know are 5 header files we know. Okay, but if I want to calculate the square root of negative number in C language, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. But for example, or I can say import math. I'm simply importing math as a module which is available with us. Okay, so I'm importing this math as a module, and let's give the a equals to 25 and print math.sqrt of what? A value. Of what? A value. I'll get 5.0. I'll get 5.0. Why so? Because this math library, this math library always uses float number. Math library always uses float number. But I have used this as a positive number. But let's consider if instead of this I am writing here a equals to minus 25 and then giving the print command to find out the square root of minus 25. It is showing what? Domain error. Math domain error. I told you standard name for identifying the error of negative number is called domain error. Okay. So to find out the negative number, square root of negative number, we have module called as CMath. Called as CMath. We are using this import CMath, again giving the value already declared a equals to 25, but to understand I am giving again this value, and now I'll give this print dot square root of a, and I'll get what answer? 5j. I'll get an answer 5j. And what is the value of j is here? What is the value of j is here? The value of j is under root 1, under root minus 1. Why sir value of square root minus 25 is coming as 5j? Because we cannot find out the square root of negative number, but there is a concept called complex number. There is a concept called what? Complex number. Okay, there is a real part and imaginary part. I will tell you when the complex number comes, but understand this: whenever we are finding out the negative number square root, that time it comes under the complex number, and negative what? J value. J is nothing but what? Under root minus 1. Under root minus 1. So that's why 5j is coming here, which is SQRT. I can say it is a function because it is with the curly braces, not curly braces. This is with the bracket. So this is what? Function. CMath is what? Module. CMath is what? Module. Okay. So in this way, we can use n number of modules. That's why to find out the square root of negative number in Python becomes very easy. Very okay. So that we can call it as what? It has a rich set of APIs. Now, second, why it has a rich set of APIs? I am simply deleting this. I told you 3 points. I am telling you in a very detailed. Second, why so simple? Because second point, Python programming provides. Python programming what? Provides. Okay, facility, inbuilt facility called garbage collection. Inbuilt facility called garbage collection facility. But I'll tell you, first of all, understand Python programming provides inbuilt garbage collection facility. And what does garbage collection do? It collects unused case and improves performance of what? Improves performance of Python based applications. It improves the performance of Python based application. Okay, are you all understanding? One concept called garbage collection. If you know what happens, temporary files get generated. Every day temporary files get generated, and that mobile automatically deletes those temporary files which are not required and release that spaced memory. Okay, so as its name suggests, garbage collection, it is collecting the unused memory space, and that's why it is improving the performance of Python based application, right? It consumes lot of memory because of what? Temporary files. Number of windows you are opening now, WhatsApp, browser, Word file, PDF file, many files we are opening. So RAM is consuming a lot of temporary memory, and once you will close all those things, it will use unused This concept is what called as garbage collection. Okay, so garbage collection. What is the definition? Let's understand the definition of garbage collection, because if interviewer asks you, you should definition of garbage collection. The definition of garbage collection, that garbage collector is one of the what inbuilt already built program is there in Python software, which is running behind what of every regular Python program. As I told you, every mobile contains the temporary file and every mobile is having garbage collector facility. Same, it is running for every regular Python program. And what it does, and whose purpose is to collect what? Unused space. Unused space, and improves performance of what? Python program. Python program. Okay. Python program. Are you all understanding? Okay. So definition of garbage collection, if someone asks you, how would you tell them? Sir, garbage collection is one of the built-in program, inbuilt program in Python software, which is running Python program, and whose purpose is to collect the unused memory space and improves the performance of what? Python based application. Improves the performance of what? Python based application. Okay, are you all understanding? See, in a technical term, we know that to every memory block or to every memory space, we are allocating some address. I'll tell you in detail later on. Because if I am declaring one variable a and giving value 25, so for saving that 25 value, I want to, allot a block. So that memory block is also called as a reference block. Okay. And if you are freeing that, you are deleting value of a and that value is getting deleted, so that referenced block is become unreferenced. Reference, or simply you can understand it that the block which is not in use is called as unreferenced block or unreferenced memory space. Okay, so definition of garbage collection I told you. Third point, so I told you 2 points why the Python programming is simple. Third point is Python programming provides you access, user friendly syntaxes, very easy to understand. Okay, and so that's why it becomes like user friendly syntaxes. I told you calendar, and if you mention year, you will get complete year calendar, very easy to understand. And friendly syntaxes, that's why we can say, so that the Python programmer can develop what? Error free program in limited span of time. So that Python programmer can develop error free program in what? Limited span of time. Okay, so I have given you 3 points for just telling you why Python is simple. Sir, Python is simple programming language because of 3 important things. First is Python programming language provide rich set of APIs. What is API? API stand for Application Programming Interface. Is a collection of what? It's a collection of libraries. Okay, sorry, it's a collection of modules. And module is a what? It's a collection of function, variables and classes. Libraries example, PyTorch, TensorFlow, NumPy, Pandas, these are libraries. Modules are what? Math, CMath, calendar, random are these what? Modules. And SQRT, RAN, DINT, these are what? Functions. I have given you example also. See here, import CMath, import math, these are all what? Libraries. Sorry, these are all what? Modules. And SQRT, this is what? Function. SQRT, this is what? Function. Okay, I can say that CMath means module collection of functions. Many functions are there. Like for example, everyone is getting OTP. OTP is what? Sir, one time password. Okay, every time you are getting OTP, someone will ask you to send this OTP in next 5 minutes. And every time if you'll see, OTP is different and the OTP is same, right? Okay. So how many lines of code do we need to find out the OTP? कितने लाइंस ऑफ कोड लगेंगे अगर मुझे ओटीपी का कोड जनरेट करना है, राइट? ओटीपी का प्रोग्राम लिखना है, तो हाउ मेनी लाइंस ऑफ कोड डू वी रिक्वायर? कितना लग सकता है? 30 या ज्यादा? अगर जावा में करना होगा तो कितना लगेगा? In C language you will require 50 to 20 lines. In Java programming language you will require 10 lines. We are assuming that considering C language, Java is using less lines of code. Okay. And Python, how many lines of code you require? Let's try. So I'll import one module called import random. Okay, I am importing one module called random, and I am calling this random module and declare what? Rand int. Okay, and let's try. I want 4-digit OTP number. 4-digit OTP number. So can you tell me which is 4-digit number can be there? 4-digit 1000 means 1000, right? 100 means what? 1000 na? Correct. 1000. This would be smallest 4-digit number because इसके पहले अगर जाएंगे तो कौन सा रहेगा? 999, राइट? इसके पहले 998. सो ये 3-digit, तो स्मॉलेस्ट 4-digit नंबर हो गया 1000. कौन सा रहेगा 4-digit नंबर? तो इट इज व्हाट? 9999. इज 4-digit नंबर. 4-digit नंबर, क्योंकि आफ्टर दैट इट विल बिकम 10,000. It will become 10,000, which is how many numbers? 5. 1000 is smallest 4-digit number, and 4 times 9 is what? Largest 4-digit number. I am giving here these two 4-digit number and the largest 4-digit number, and simply closing two brackets because I opened two brackets. One bracket, entering. What number I got? 1960. This is not 1960 year. This is a random 1960 number. Sir, every time 1960 का असो का OTP है ना, तो हर बार तो नया नया OTP आना चाहिए. Let's again call this print function. What number getting? 1977. Again call 4547. Again call 4976. 4976. Right? How many lines of code? 2 lines of code. In 2 lines of code, you have written random number generating or OTP generating code. You crack this OTP generating code. Why is so easy? Because of these kind of modules, random. Because of these kind of function, rand int. That's why it is a rich set of APIs or libraries. इसके वजह से पाइथन हो जाती है सिंपल. OTP we get 6 digit. So let's add the smallest 6-digit number is 1 and 5 times 0 means 1 lakh. The largest 6-digit number is 6 times 9 because after that it will become 7 times number. Enter what OTP or what random number I got? 512413. Again enter 556962. Again enter 290413. Again enter 658807. And simply add 1 2 3 4. Again I am adding 1 2 3 4. Now how many numbers OTP or random number generating? 3, 6 and then 4, 10 numbers. 10 numbers random OTP. See, still we are getting like a mobile number 9887205112. Again, 3592712327. So this kind of 10 numbers we are getting. That's why we are calling it what? It is a simple programming language. Are you all understanding? Right? You all, why it is so simple programming language. Okay. So this is our first feature, that why it is simple. Why it is simple we have told you. Now second feature. What was the second feature here? Simple we discussed. Freeware and open source. Freeware, open source. Let me write it here. Freeware and open source. एक बार आपने ये जो वीडियो देख ली है, पाइथन की फिर से वीडियो देखने की जरूरत डिटेल में बताऊंगा. ठीक है. Videos are there on YouTube, but still we are unable to understand. So that's why we are using open source. Software is freely available. If any software is freely available, available for what? Freely available for download, right? Then it is called as freeware. It is called as what? Freeware. Examples. Which are the examples? Python, Java. These are all what? Freeware example. Freeware example. Okay. Let me tell you. Python था ना, the Python which we usually download ना, कहाँ से डाउनलोड करते हैं? फ्रॉम www.python.org. The Python which we download from python.org is called standard Python. Is called standard Python, and actually whose name is Python. Are you all understanding? कि actually its name is C Python, and we are using standard Python. We are using what? Standard Python. Why we are using standard Python and not other? Because if you go to python.org or we will search for Python distribution. Okay, Python distribution, or let's consider this alternate Python implementation. Site hosts the traditional implementation of Python nicknamed C Python. ठीक है, ओरिजिनल जो नेम है इसका पाइथन का, इट इज सी पाइथन. ट्रेडिशनल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन और आई कैन से स्टैंडर्ड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ पाइथन जो है वो सी पाइथन. फिर उसके बहुत से अल्टरनेट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अवेलेबल हो गए. ओके, तो ऐसे नाम से है पाई फास्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ पाइथन विथ JIT कंपाइलर. आयरन पाइथन, पाइथन रनिंग ऑन .NET, only for .NET. Micro Python, which runs with a microcontroller in the web browser. Stackless Python, branch of C Python supporting micro threads. JPython, which support Java virtual machine. So these are many alternate Python are there, right? Why these kind of Pythons are generated? Because of the requirement. Because of what? Requirement. Like for example, if I am a .NET developer and I want to use Python, so in installing C Python, I will install what? Iron Python. If I am using Java, my code is running on Java platform where Java virtual machine is there, right? So instead of using this C Python, I will using JPython, correct? JPython I will use. So if .NET developer want Python, Iron Python, Java developer want Python, they will use JPython. Means as per their requirement. Understand? As per their requirement, they customizing the software. Customize करना यानी कुछ changes करके अपने हिसाब से बनाना, right? अगर मुझे कंप्यूटर बनाना है तो आई विल मेक अ कस्टमाइज जिसमें मेरे हिसाब से रैम रहेगी, मेरे हिसाब से ग्राफिक कार्ड रहेगा. ओके, So I'll customize it as per my requirement. Okay, so if I am making or developing as per customer or as per requirements, customizing as per requirement, it is called as open source. It is called as what? Open source. Understand this. What is open source? So some of the companies came forward, आगे आगे, okay, and जो हमारी standard Python थी ना, they customized this C Python for their requirements, and those open source software of Python are called what? Python distribution. Python distributions. Okay, understand? Okay, I told you कि as per requirement, every company has developed their own Python, and that Pythons are called as what? Open source softwares, and these are called as what? Python distributions. So simply I'll click and search for Python distribution and search here. See what we will get. Okay, see, aside from official C Python, as I told you, various distribution available on Python include the following: Active Python from Active State, Anaconda, Chinese Python, Chinese company made their own Python, InThoughts, WinX, Pocket Python, Portable Python, Python X, Python Formax, WinPython, Embedded Python, Mini Python. So many companies, as per their requirement, they made what? Their Python. So I'll list few over here. Like for example, JPython. JPython is for Java based application. Understand this. If you are using Java and if you want to use Python, you can use JPython. If you want to use Iron Python, why Iron Python require? Used to run .NET based application, right? These are all famous. Next is, if you want to use Anaconda, there is Anaconda Python is also there by Python. ये भी एक सांप ही है, और Anaconda Python is also there, which used to what? Big data. So big data means what? Big data, complex data, large amount of data, and to manipulate those data, we are using what? Hadoop. We are using what? There is a framework called Hadoop. Okay, so these kind of Pythons are there, customized Python. Why? Because open source is there. It is open source. Anyone can customize this software. So if someone will ask you what is open source means some companies are coming forward and customizing this software as per their requirement. That's why we call it as what? Open source. And why it is freeware? Because it is freely available to. Because if it is not freeware to download, we call it as shareware. Shareware means where there is a trial period, and after trial period you have to pay. So .NET is not freeware. Pay, right? If you are a data analyst and if you are using tool like Power BI or other softwares, you have to pay for extra features. Okay, it is important to understand this thing. Are you all understanding? I hope these 2 points only I took a long time. Okay, but it was pretty important to understand. I believe we have already like almost have 1 hour ना, 1 hour हो गया, ठीक है? So further points I'll take in our coming session. I'll end up this session today itself because I don't want to drag all the points. We will continue this session tomorrow for sure. So I need a time. I am not going to like shortcut 10 minutes video I won't take. For 2 features only I took 1 hour, and further features I'll tell you in detail. I hope you all are understanding. Dharmale, thank you so much. But I'll use your suggestion in in my further classes. If you have any queries, you can feel free to WhatsApp me and join group. And please do subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm like ending this stream.